Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm going to try and record this. Last time, I guess Friday, I recorded it, didn't work. I uploaded it to the website, but for some reason it didn't work. But maybe today might work. Okay, I'm going to introduce something a little different today. Something I was using in my seminar core classes. So I just want to introduce this to you, and then maybe we can try to use it in our project today. So this is something called, this is in the field of project management, which means you have a project which you're trying to implement, and the project is something that's different than just like regular operations in a business. A project is something that has a fixed period of time when it starts and when it ends. That's a little different than in a business where you have basically ongoing operations in a business. So a project has a fixed starting point and an end point. So any of your homework assignments could be considered a project, right? Because you get, it starts like today, this week, and it's due next week, so that's a project. Okay, so we could apply the principles of project management to doing one of your homework assignments. And then I thought I'd introduce that idea today. So there are many different types or theories in project management. One of the most recent ones is called Agile Project Management, and that is basically was originally developed mostly for programming projects, so it's very appropriate for our class, but it's not strictly related to programming projects. It could be any kind of project. It could be building a hospital, it could be building APU, it could be cleaning up your room, but that's sometimes they say that's not a project because supposedly you're supposed to try and clean up your room every week, so it's kind of an ongoing thing. So that's not exactly a project, but it could be like baking a cake. It could be, all kinds of different things. But anyway, it was originally developed for programming, and so it's particularly appropriate for what we're doing. The type of Agile that we're going to discuss today is called Scrum, Scrum Project Management. So there are different so-called flavors of Agile Product Management, and one type is Scrum. And Scrum is very, very simple, and it's apparently very effective. Supposedly they use this type of project management at Google and at Facebook. So the teams that are doing programming at Google are using this methodology to manage their projects. Okay, so what is Scrum? Scrum is a lightweight framework, so that means it's very simple, designed to help small, close-knit teams of people develop complex products. The brainchild of a handful of software engineers working together in the late 20th century, Scrum has gained the most traction in the technology sector, but it is not inherently technical. You can easily adapt the tools and practices described in other industries. You can use Scrum to build a better mousetrap, for example, or run the marketing division of a puppy chow company. Actually, you can even use it to collaborate on writing a book, as the authors of this book did that I'm reading, that I took this screen from. In terms of the roles in a Scrum project, there's only 3 different roles. So Scrum recognizes only 3 distinct roles: the product owner, the Scrum Master, and team members. So we need to know what they are. Anyway, you start with an idea, and you form a Scrum team. And you have the product owner, the Scrum Master, and the team members. And then you create a product, you create the list of things that you want the product to do that's referred to as the product backlog. So who is the product owner? What is the product owner? In our case here, the product owner is me. I'm the one who's asking you to do this. So I decide, the product owner decides what they want, right? So if you're a programmer and you know, you're working for a company that somebody says, oh, we need this, this, and this. They're the product owner. They're telling you what needs to be done, and that's what the product owner is. So a development team means a group of programmers represents a significant investment on the part of the business. There are salaries to pay, offices to rent, computers and software to buy and maintain, and on and on. The product owner is responsible for maximizing the return the business gets on this investment. So the return on the investment. So they're basically the people who decide what features the product should have. So as a developer, you're not really deciding on the features, you're just implementing those features. So when I ask you to do today's homework, I'm going to tell you what to do, right? And then you're going to try and do it, right? But we're going to pretend that we are the product owner for a moment, just to play that role and see what that's like. Okay? So usually, especially for programming, you use this kind of sentence here, or this kind of framework. You say, and then you specify the type of user that's going to be using the software or using the product. I want to do something so that some value is created. So for each feature that you want in the program or in the project, you use this kind of sentence to describe each feature. Okay, so we'll see what that means. The product owner role in a nutshell. So they hold the vision of the product, they represent the interests of the business, they represent the customers, and they own what's called the product backlog. We'll see what that means. Okay. And then we have the next role, besides the product owner, is what's called the Scrum Master. Okay, now, today we're not going to break up into teams. So if there's a Scrum Master, it's going to be you. But it doesn't really make sense, because Scrum Master is basically to help the team work together. Okay, but the Scrum Master is not at a higher level than the team members. In fact, the team members could even be at a higher level in the organization than the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is just to facilitate getting the team to work well together. That's all. Okay, the Scrum Master acts as a coach, guiding the team to ever higher levels of... Okay, who's ever talking? I don't want to keep saying stop talking in this video, so please don't make me say that over and over again. Okay? The Scrum Master acts as a coach, guiding the team to ever higher levels of cohesiveness. So they're trying to bring the group together. Self-organization. So in Google, if you work at Google, you have a lot of responsibility for your own work. Okay, so you kind of self-organize. Okay, and performance. While a team's deliverable is the product, so the team's deliverable is the product. As a team, we need to produce the product, we need to produce the software. But a Scrum Master's deliverable, what they need to do, is to produce a high-performing, self-organizing team. Okay, that's the idea behind Scrum, and that's the idea behind the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is not the team's boss. This is a peer position on the team, set apart either by knowledge or responsibility. The Scrum Master's role in a nutshell is that they might be an expert, and they might be an advisor, but they're definitely a coach. And they get rid of impediments to the team working well together. So they're kind of a facilitator. Okay? And then we have the team members. And a high-performing Scrum teams are highly collaborative, that is, they work together. And they are also self-organizing. It means they don't have somebody from the top telling them what to do. Okay, the team members doing the work have total authority over how the work gets done. Okay, they have authority. Nobody's telling them how to do it. They know what they need to do. Someone's telling them what the project needs, what the product needs. But no one's telling them how to get it done. They have a lot of self-authority. Okay, the team alone decides which tools and techniques to use, and which team members will work on which tasks. The theory is that the people who do the work are the highest authorities on how best to do it. Similarly, so this is one theory of project management. Now, there might be other theories, for example, where somebody from the top tells you what to do, okay? But that's not this theory. Similarly, if the business needs schedule estimates, it's the team members who should create these estimates. So, the business might say, oh, we need this done now, but really it's up to the team to decide when things will get done, okay, in this Scrum framework, okay? Okay, so, and then there are just a few things you need to learn about Scrum to get working in a Scrum group. And first of all, you need what's called the product backlog, which is just the list of all the things that the product is supposed to do, or the list of all the deliverables. And then in a Scrum environment, you have what's called a sprint. So when you sprint, when you go out on the track and you run, or if you're playing in a game like a rugby game, they have a sprint, I think it's called, where it's like a short period where you work really hard. Okay, and that's what they mean by the sprint. And then you have what's called a sprint backlog, which is just a list of the things that you're going to do in that sprint. So you have the product backlog, which is the whole product. And then you have what are you going to do in this short sprint. So a sprint is usually like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, or maybe 1 week. And you talk about what you're going to do, and you have a short list of things that you're going to do. And you have a chart also which shows you how far along you've gone in getting the job done. Okay? So that's basically what it is. And they talk about story. A story is just a feature that the product should have. So you have, each story should include which users the story will benefit. In other words, each feature, how is it going to benefit a particular user, for example, in our program today. A brief description of the desired functionality, so it should also have that. Reason why this particular feature or story is valuable. How much work the story requires, so that usually maybe how many hours, how many man-hours it requires. And acceptance criteria, how will we know when we've completed it? How will we know when it's acceptable? The acceptance criteria will tell us when we know the story, the feature, has been correctly implemented. Okay? And this is an example of this chart. So you say this whole project is going to take 500 hours. After the first sprint, we've done 50 hours of work. After the second sprint, we've done another 50 hours of work. And suddenly it goes up here because the product owner told us, oh wait, that's not what I wanted. Please do it again, or something like that. Okay, so that's the idea. All right, so that's a very brief introduction to Scrum. Now, here's today's project. Okay, and this is what we want to make. And basically, let me run it for you. I don't have it all working, but I have just the basics running. Okay, so here it is. And you can see that when I type in here, you can see that I can type in here. And if I click this button, what it's supposed to do is delete it, clear the text box, okay? And then also down here, it's supposed to say text bar cleared, okay, when I use that one. Or if I type in here and I click this button, it turns the text red. And now it says down here in the status bar, this is called the status bar of a program, in the status bar, it says text is now red. Okay, and then there I didn't actually implement this one, but it's going to make it blue, and this is supposed to make it bold, and I forget what this one's supposed to do. And then we also have this, which displays this about box as well. Okay, so this is, you know, as a team, we're working in a company, and our boss or somebody comes and says, we want this product. And so what are the features that, so now we're the product owner, and we want to say what we want to describe, what are the features that we want this program to have. So what are the features that we want the program to have? What would you say? So we can see the end result here now, but usually the end result is not done until it's finished, so you wouldn't be able to really see it. But anyway, somebody has something in mind, right? They're going to come to you and ask you to do this program. So they have something in mind and they describe it. What would you say? What are the features that we want in this product?